Hi, welcome back to Elevate Your Mind with Ale. I am your host, and I will be talking to you about the full moon in Sagittarius. Now, working with the magic of the full moon is a very high point of the lunar cycle, and it's a very powerful time for inner work, for looking within, healing, shifting blocks, and shedding the past. Things we all need to do on a regular basis, of course, but the full moon reminds us what to do at this time. The advice that will be giving to you applies to all of us, regardless of our personal astrology. The reason is that this is in fact illumination, and in this case a full moon, in a particular sign, and it is therefore has a flavor of its own no matter which rising sign it is on. To be able to take in the advice that I will be giving to you, you first need to find out what your rising sign is. After you figure that out, then you can continue on with this video. So first, I will tell you what the full moon in Sagittarius is going to be like and what the energy will be like. And after I'm done with that, I will go with each rising sign on what energy you are most likely to encounter and what is going to benefit you and what affirmations and meditations I consider you to try. So let's start off by giving you the full moon and Sagittarius energy. The full moon is especially going to be good for people that are Aries, Geminis, Leos, Librans, Sagittarians, and Aquarians, and it will be very challenging for everyone else. The energy is fun, and it may prompt many sights of reliefs. Now, I have 5 questions that I want yourself to answer. Ask yourself and answer them for yourself, because we are all doing this for our own elevation, right? We're all trying to improve ourselves the best of our ability, and that starts by speaking and saying the truth. The question number 1 is, have I been too flippant or carefree to the point of being careless, irresponsible? Have I been letting myself down by allowing myself to get distracted and bored? Have I been overconfident to the point of arrogance or too preachy? Have I been a commitment phobe to my own detriment? And the last one is, have I been seeing the bigger picture? Ask yourself those 5 questions and answer them with true honesty. Now, a message that I have for you is that life is an adventure. Don't get stagnant, okay? Go and do something. Don't just stay still. Don't just do the same things every single day. Change something up. Change your routine. If you always work out in the morning, maybe try it out at night. Do something different. Add something or take something out of your regular routine. Now, I want you to find balance between speaking your mind and saying far too much. And of course, I've always said this, the full moon is for forgiveness. So the full moon in Sagittarius will be a perfect time for you to do your full moon forgiveness ceremony. You can write a forgiveness list and then you can safely burn it. And a full moon is also a great time for you to be grateful. It's a great reminder to us that lets us know that if we haven't been grateful all month, that this is a time for us to be grateful. Enter a state of gratitude and write your gratitude list and then safely burn it, of course. Now, I'm assuming by this point you already know your rising sign. So after this, you can just jump into your own personal rising sign so you don't have to hear everyone else's. Go ahead and jump right in to your personal rising sign. You can scroll to the description and you can just jump into it so you don't have to listen to everyone else's. And if you like this video, of course, give me a thumbs up so I can make more of these videos for you guys. Let's get right into it. Okay, so if you are Sagittarius rising, you'll be focusing on your first house for the following 2 weeks. Even though the moon does not stay in the same sign for 2 weeks, I suggest this so you can better pay attention and give focus to a specific thing, which for you is your first house. The first house is your image zone. So for the following 2 weeks, expect to turn the corner in one way or another in your personal or your professional life. So the full moon can bring up intense feelings about your appearance or your stress and strains in a relationship, and it can be a big turning point. So it is a very well and lovely to be focused on someone else. It certainly sounds like a valiant thing, but once a year, the full moon lights up your first house to remind you that you are also needing to focus on yourself, because the first house is all about you. Many of us are givers rather than takers, and while that sounds great, it can actually mess with the flow in our lives. The full moon in your first house is a time to remember how to say yes when people offer to help you and to ask for help if you need it. You're not going to regret it, okay? Like, once in a while, it's good to have some help. You might feel extra emotional during this cycle, but a lot of the stuff that's coming up for you needs to be dealt with, so don't run away from it, okay? You got this. You can handle anything that is thrown at you is for a reason. It's because you can handle it. Any burden that you think you have, any obstacle that you're going through, you can do it. You can overcome it. You wouldn't be going through a situation if you wouldn't be able to overcome it. So just believe in yourself. Release any issue that you have about your appearance. That might sound a little superficial, but it's amazing how feeling that we're too fat or too thin or too anything else can negatively impact our life and stop us from getting out there and reaching our full potential. So work on yourself and work on reaching all the things that you desire for yourself. Find at least 1 or 2 things about yourself that you know are totally gorgeous, no matter what others feel about you. Anything that has to do with your looks doesn't matter, okay? Everyone's opinions doesn't always have to matter, or it shouldn't affect you for that matter. Focus on what you love, play it up, and reveal it in. This is an important and somehow extra personal full moon. Use it to work on what you want to take with you into your next 12-month life cycle and what and who you want to leave behind. This can be a very emotional time, so just be prepared for that. Because a tug of war may arise between your needs and those of the people who are most important to you. Maybe you decide, you know what, I haven't had me time in the longest, I'm going to have some, and somebody might not like it, and somebody might not see eye to eye to you, and you are going to need to step up, okay? Anything that comes up, just breathe and know that you can overcome it, okay? So try to find a balance between your lover, your partner, your ex, literally anyone else in your life who counts as a VIP, and you. This can be a time when you realize you've been too focused on someone else and it is time to focus on yourself for a while. Or totally counterclockwise, it can be a time when you realize you've been acting a little selfish and need to give someone else your time and attention. It is also about me and you, much as it is in the 7th house. The 7th house full moon in your 6 months time, this is your chance to make a twice yearly adjustment, okay? So again, with the full moon, it's all about forgiveness. So forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for anything that you feel that you haven't accomplished, that you haven't done, or that you have done and you didn't do right. Whatever it is that you blame yourself for, forgive yourself, okay? We are all humans. We all make mistakes. We are not perfect, and we will fail. But we get back up, okay? And we try again. Now, like I mentioned, the full moon is also about being grateful. So be grateful. Write your gratitude list and then safely burn it. Now, a mantra that I have for you is the mantra Ram. You can chant this mantra honestly at any time that feels right for you. I personally like to do it in the shower, while I'm having my me time, while I am relaxing. And you can also do it while you are meditating, before or after you meditate, or during, up to you. The last thing that I have for you is an affirmation to say on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius. And that affirmation is, I am turning the corner. Repeat that over and over and over again until it is embedded in your brain, until you feel it. Because you can say something over and over and over again and sound like a robot and not feel anything of it. But if you truly feel it, then it will manifest. Okay, well, that is it for you. I hope that these advice help you, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care. Bye. Okay, so we're off to Scorpio rising. If you are a Scorpio rising, on the full moon in Sagittarius, you are going to focus on your second house, which is all about your cash, property, and value zone. So for the coming 2 weeks, you are going to breathe through any financial dramas and focus on finding a solution. So yes, even though the moon does not stay in the same sign for longer than 2 to 3 days, I still want you to focus on this second house for, at the very minimum, 2 weeks. Whenever you focus on something for a longer time, you seem to learn from it and get a grasp of it and get it together, right? So this is why I'm saying 2 weeks, so it's more beneficial for you. So I want you to remember that this full moon can bring up intense feelings about your financial security and stability, and about your self-worth. This full moon reminds us that a balance is needed between what you do for yourself financially and what you do for others. There is your income to be considered and your debts. There's your self-worth and what you think you're worth as a person, and there's what others are willing to pay you, which is usually based on what you ask for, at least within reason, right? If you're about to make a major purchase, you're doing it at the right time. If you've been letting someone control you because they have financial power over you around about the time of your second house full moon, is your chance to break free. This full moon is also reminding you that you need to take care of your intimate life. Don't neglect it because of your worldly concerns. Pay attention to what you are feeling. So release any issues you have about money. The second house is all about cash, right? Property and possessions. So at this time, there could be some kind of climax or conclusion connected to cash. If you've been feeling fearful regarding cash lately, you should work on this full moon and the associated affirmation that I'm going to give you later to release that. You can move into a better financial cycle at this time. One thing to be strongly aware of is that your self-esteem will affect how much cash you attract. So take care of that self-esteem of yours. Build your self-esteem up. A tug of war may arise between your own money and what other people pay you or owe you. So find a balance between any issues you have regarding giving and taking. If you want to earn your own cash rather than be employed by someone else, this is a very good time to play your exit strategy or to cut the ties. If you've been too focused or dependent on someone else, now is the time to bring your attention back to your own situation. It is a time to get your head around the idea that the universe is abundant and that there's more than enough for everyone to go around. You deserve to be abundant, okay? Now the full moon, I always say this, the full moon is all about forgiveness. So forgive yourself and anyone else you need to for times when money had been an issue. Okay, it doesn't matter what you think of yourself. If you think of yourself badly, please forgive yourself. If you think of yourself of not being able to accomplish or not done enough, please forgive yourself. We are all humans. We all go through things. No one is perfect, but we learn from our mistakes. That's what the human experience is all about. So forgive yourself and forgive anyone else for times with money had been an issue, okay? And the full moon is also about being grateful. So be grateful. Make your gratitude list and then safely burn it, of course. The mantra that I have for you is the mantra Lamb. This full moon, you can chant it out loud or silently. You can do it in the shower like I love to do. You can do it before or after you meditate, or honestly at any time that feels right for you. This is going to help you ease into whatever you need, clarity. And the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation, the affirmation that I was talking about earlier. And this affirmation, you can say it on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius, and that is, all of my needs are met. I am worth it. I want you to repeat that over and over and over again until it has gone deep within you, until you feel it. Because you can say something and not actually mean it. But if you say something with meaning, with passion, with emotion, then it means something. It's worth something. So try to do that. Try to do it over and over again and truly feel it when you're saying it, so you can manifest it, of course. And that is all that I have for you. And if you like these tips, then come back again next time. See you around. Alright, Libra rising, on this full moon in Sagittarius, you are going to focus on your third house, Libra rising. Now, third house is all about communication. For the following 2 weeks, you could say more than you could mean to, so please be careful. The full moon can bring up intense feelings about siblings and neighbors, and about whether or not you should be honest about how you feel. It is all very dreaming of the great escape, where you and a possibly a loved one or two decide to take off to see the world, or at least the nearby countryside, right? But what about the details? This full moon reminds us that there's a lot of work to be done close to home. Things that need to take care of, things that need to be taken care of, and items on your to-do list to be checked off. It's also a celestial reminder that you should seriously need to express yourself. If you haven't been honest about how you feel, now is the time to start to say your piece. Whether you're talking face-to-face, Facebooking, emailing, tweeting, whatever it is, kind of communication, it all goes. Dramas with siblings are highlighted now and can be sorted out. So, it is time to release any issues you have about communication. Your siblings, your neighbors, be extra careful not to allow disagreements to escalate out of control. For some, the full moon here will reveal the information that is needed to solve a long-standing problem. So be careful what you write down on paper, in an email, in a text, social media, literally anywhere. Emotions are going to be running high, so don't hit the send and then regret. Okay, so please read what you are writing, think about it before you send. Problems with siblings and neighbors can come to a head right now, so be careful. Issues can be resolved with forgiveness, of course. So remember, it's often less what you say than how you say it. A tug of war may arise between where you are and where you think you would like to be. So find a balance between your own backyard and the big wide world out there. This is also a full moon that can trigger some kind of development or resolutions regarding a legal issue. Distant friends and relatives can loom larger, as can trips away and job opportunities abroad. Where do you want to be? Here or there? Now, the full moon, I've always said this, the full moon is about forgiveness. So, forgive yourself for any negative words you've spoken. Forgive your neighbors and siblings for any upsets that have happened. Just forgive, okay? Sometimes we feel like we can't because it's been such a harsh thing, but think about it. We're all humans. We all fuck up. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. No one is perfect. But it's okay. We can try again. We can forgive ourselves. We can forgive others. And we can continue on with our happy life. The full moon is also about being grateful. So be grateful. Make your gratitude list and then safely burn it. The mantra that I have for you is the mantra hum. You can chant it out loud. You can say it silently. You can do it every day. You can do it while you're in the shower, which is one of my favorites. You can do it before or after meditating, or at any time that feels right for you. And the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation that you can say on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius. And that is, as I express myself with love, life brings me all I need. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's beautiful. Just like Libra rising. It's beautiful. Now, I want you to say this, but not just say it. I want you to feel it. I want you to truly feel it when you're saying it. Because whenever you put a feeling behind a word and a thought, you give it power. You give it magic. And that's how you manifest. So, there you go. Now, that's all that I have for you, Libra rising. I hope that all these tips help you out. If they did, please let me know down in the comment section. And I will see you on the next time, on the next one, on the next run, on the next video. Okay? Bye. Okay, so if you are a Virgo rising, you are going to be focusing on your 4th house on this full moon in Sagittarius. The 4th house is about your home and your family. So Virgo rising, for the coming 2 weeks, pay attention to what your family needs and your own needs for personal space and some private time. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about your family. So bless them, okay? Pray over your family. Work like a dog to achieve your personal goals. Sounds like a very good thing. But there's a time and a place for everything. And at the time of your 4th house, full moon, you're in a cycle when the planets, the sun and the moon in particular, are suggesting that you need to find a balance between your outer aims and goals and your inner needs. Perhaps your family needs you to spend more time with them, or perhaps you just need some time with nothing on your mind. Take a look at your family relationships and ascertain if everything is running as smoothly as you like. And if not, this is the time to pour some energy into that part of your life. So, release any issues that you have about your personal life, your home, your family, and issues to do with your family can come up right now. So, just be ready. Don't dread this though. Rather, see it as a chance to sort out any outstanding upsets. Our family members are people whom we have a very karmic connection. And any issue that come up, do so to help us evolve. This full moon here can also be a time when we make changes to where we live. If you're not sure about the best way forward regarding your home or what you call home, meditate on it. Ask your archangels, your goddesses, your guides, God, whoever it is that you call upon for some guidance in some direction. Issues and projects connected to the home can be resolved at this time. So, just know that a tug of war may arise between what you want to achieve in your life professionally and what you're required to do at home. So find a balance between your personal life and your career. Maybe you are a driven person who forgets to have a personal life and neglects your partner, your friends, your family while working long hours. Or perhaps you are a family type who knows you have more to offer to the world. Either way, this is your time to strike a balance. Ambition and family work well together. Success can also allow you to spoil your loved ones and your desire to provide for your family can inspire ambition. Now, the full moon is all about forgiveness and gratitude, right? So, at this time, forgive yourself for any upsets you have had with family or your roommates, your spouse. Make your home a peaceful sanctuary and be grateful. Make your gratitude list. The mantra that I have for you on this full moon is Om. You can chant it out loud, or you can say it silently. You can do it while you're in the shower. You can do it before or after you meditate, or honestly at any time that feels just right for you. The last thing that I have for you to say on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius is an affirmation. And that affirmation is, I am safe and secure. It feels very homey, right? Because we are talking about home. We are talking about family. That's why it goes perfect. So just say that affirmation on the night of the new moon in Sagittarius. And honestly, for the following 2 weeks after that, so it can help you, so you can feel better. I hope this helps you out in some way, and if it does, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you on the next video. Bye. Okay, so if you are a Leo rising, you will need to focus on your 5th house for the following 2 weeks. And the 5th house, as we know it, is all about kids, romance, creativity. So for the following 2 weeks, I want you to pay attention to your 5th house. And this includes checking whether you're having enough fun and if fun is good for us, good for you. This full moon is going to bring up intense feelings about an issue to do with a child. This can be your own or someone else's, your love life, or even a creative project that you might be working on or about to get started on. There is usually a whole lot of emotions going on in your chart, in your life at this time of the full moon, in your 5th house of your self-expression. You can be pouring your heart out, perhaps because you're sad, or because you're maybe just because you've had a lot of emotions to download. And for some of us, it's about the joy that a child, this can be again our own or someone else's, can bring to us. So say you have a kid. Kids bring joy. If you see a kid, all you think about is just having fun and being joyful, right? So whenever you are around kids, they can give you some of that joy. So try to pay attention to that. For others, it's about pouring emotions into a creative project that you might have been working on or you're about to start working on. And while this is going on, you need to find a balance between yourself and your friends. So don't neglect anything at all right now, either them or yourself. This is your challenge for the coming month. Balance it out. Release any issue you have about allowing yourself some time off. The past few weeks may well have seen you working very hard, but now you want to feel put upon by the need to look after your friends. Turn that around, and if you can, make this a very sociable time in which the person having the most fun is you. So are you having fun? Are you going to be having fun? Or are you going to back down, turn that invitation down, and go to work? An issue related to a child, either again your own or someone else's, can come up to a peak right now, and hopefully for resolutions in any way that can make everyone happy. If you have a creative project, now is a very good time to complete the latest stages on it, even finish it off altogether. A tug of war may arise between what your friends need and what you need for yourself. So self-expression is going to be a major focus for you, and as kids and creative projects as well. So find a balance between how much you cater to the needs of the groups and social circles to which you belong versus how often you are taking center stage, being yourself, speaking up, letting the world know what you have to offer. And it's safe to be with lots of people doing what they do, but this is a time to show the world who you are. It is a love affair. If a love affair ends now, it is doing so at the right time. So don't be worried. It's working out in perfect timing. When that starts now can be a very feeling filled relationship that may even wax and wane with the moon. So I've always said this, when the full moon is all about forgiveness and gratitude. So forgive anyone who drags you down, yourself, or any time you felt you were not a great parent, or any time you took life too seriously. And be grateful. Make your gratitude list and fill it with all of the things that you are grateful for. Now, a mantra that I have for you is the mantra VAM. You can chant it out loud. You can say it silently every day while you're in the shower, which is one of my personal favorites, before or after you meditate, or honestly, anytime that feels just right for you. And let me know if you try this, because I want to know if you're actually trying it. Okay, so comment below if you have or if you are trying it, and let me know how it feels. Now, the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation that you can say on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius, and that is, I am a creative being. Say this over and over and over again until you feel the words with actual feelings, not just saying a word. Truly feel it. Truly feel what that sentence means for you. Okay? Now that is all that I have for you. I will see you around in the next videos. Bye. Hey there, Cancer Rising. If you are a Cancer Rising, then you need to focus on your 6th house on this full moon in Sagittarius. The 6th house is all about your daily work in your health zone. So for the following 2 weeks, I want you to focus on finding a way to bring balance into your life. Now, this full moon can bring up intense feelings about what you do every day to earn a living, and it can also hold fears about health, which may be very totally unfolding. So watch out for that and be very cautious. If you are one of the lucky ones, if you've been working on yourself, this full moon, when you see yourself for who you really are, you therefore see your good points as well as your flaws, and you decide to do something about your flaws. This is all about the daily life you lead. This is all about the daily life you lead. Are you living in a healthy fashion? Are you getting out and about to exercise? Have you long ago given up bad habits such as smoking and partying too much? If not, then this full moon is your annual chance to start again when it comes to taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Routines are your friend at this full moon. At work, go slow and steady, okay? Now release any issues you have about habits that you need to break. This part of your chart is concerned with the daily rhythms of your life. If you're not happy with the way you're doing things, with the way your life is going along with your morning or evening routines, this full moon is tuned into to let go of the old ways and to start doing them differently. In particular, any unhealthy or even toxic habits should be released right now. If this is about drinking, not drinking enough water, not drinking or drinking too much alcohol, or not doing enough exercises, eating too much or not eating enough. Our daily habits impact our health in your 6th house. Our daily habits impact our health in your 6th house. It is all about habits and health, right? So look after your habits and your health, because it's not going to take care of itself. Now, a tug of war may arise between your needs to deal with the real world and do your duty, and your need to find some peaceful time out. So find a balance between your daily grind and the mysterious cosmos. Yes, you heard that correctly. Most of us have a daily grind of some kind. Things we need to do, responsibilities we have to take care of, duties we can't avoid, and then there's bliss, peace, time out, meditation, contemplation, and the great void, or the gap, the mysterious place in the universe where we just be, where we just are. Introducing a daily meditation or yoga practice can really help with balancing things up at this time of the full moon in your 6th house. In fact, I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it out. Now, the full moon is about forgiveness and gratitude. So, forgive. Forgive the people you see every day who annoy you in little ways, quite possibly in much the same ways that you niggle at them. You might pick at them. It might be the same reason that they annoy you. Forgive yourself for any unhealthy habits. Make some changes and move on, okay? We're all learning. We're all growing. We're all evolving. We're all humans, okay? We are capable of moving on and forgiving, especially ourselves. And be grateful. Write down your gratitude list. Write everything that you are grateful for. And then safely burn it. A mantra that I have for you is the mantra hum. This month, or for the following 2 weeks, I want you to chant this mantra out loud. And if you don't want to do that, you can say it silently. Try to do it every day. You can do it while you're in the shower, or before or after you meditate, or honestly at any time that feels right for you. If you try this mantra, please let me know how you feel, how you did it. And the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation. And this affirmation, you can say it on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius and for the following 2 weeks. And that is, I am in perfect health. Because you should be, okay? We all have one body and you need to take care of it. Now that is it for you for this full moon. And I will see you on the next one. Bye. Take care. Hello, Gemini rising. This full moon in Sagittarius, you need to focus on your 7th house. The 7th house is all about your love zone. So, in the coming 2 weeks, expect relationship issues to come to the forefront. Now, this full moon can bring up intense feelings about your love life. And this full moon suggests it's time for you to step aside a little. And it's time to invest some emotional energy into your other half. Whether that is your marriage partner, your significant other, whatever you call your significant other, or into other people in your life, whether that is a business partner, a friend, or even an advisory. All about me is fine, but at this time, you need to focus on someone else, not you. At the very least, there should be a balance. If someone else needs your attention, this full moon can also bring closures. So if you're in a relationship or a friendship that's ending right now, you can proceed, knowing that you finish things up at the exactly right time, celestially speaking, of course. So release any issues you have about love and relationships. This can mean your present romantic situations or one from the past. The whole point of relationships on a karmic level seems to be about us, mere mortals, learning lessons through other people. Someone who pushes our buttons is going to teach us a lot about ourselves and how to handle ourselves than someone who doesn't. That's why so many wonderful relationships are quite tense at times. That is the result of two souls evolving and learning to love through the tough times. The full moon in the 7th house can also be a time when we decide to serve ties on a relationship that has reached its use by date, and that's okay too. Some people can come to us for a reason or a season, as the saying goes, but you just have to understand that when you meet someone, it is for a reason. You might meet someone for a couple of minutes and you will remember them forever, because you were meant to meet, you were meant to speak, you were meant to change words, thoughts, because you're supposed to learn something from them. Your mind's supposed to change, and if it doesn't, it'll continue to happen. Maybe not possibly with the same person, but with someone else. And this also happens whenever you have like lots of girlfriend boyfriend situations. It's because you're possibly not learning the lesson that you were supposed to learn. So just look at every relationship, every friendship as a lesson, because that's what it is. A tug of war may arise between what you need and what your partner or your boss or your best friend or anyone else needs. Find a balance between thinking of yourself and thinking of someone else. This emotional full moon in your 7th house puts the spotlight on how you feel about someone important to you. This is also a very good time to practice your negotiations and your compromising skills. Whether the relationship in question is with your lover, your partner, your ex, your business partner, or even an advisory, see what you can do to find common ground, and you will find the best of this full moon. Okay? Now, every single time that the full moon comes around, it is a reminder from the moon that you need to forgive. That you need to forgive. So forgive anyone and everyone who isn't you, and then forgive yourself for any relationship mistakes you think you've made. Believe it or not, there really isn't no such thing as a mistake. Everything happens for a reason, and everything is perfect and just is as it should be. Another thing that comes as a reminder when the full moon comes is to be grateful. Sometimes we take for granted what we have, and we aren't grateful for the things that we have. So every time the full moon comes, every time that you look up at the sky and you see that the moon is full, it is a reminder that you need to be grateful. So be grateful. Make your list, make your gratitude list, and then safely burn it, of course. Now, the mantra that I have for you is the mantra YUM. You can chant it out loud, or you can say it silently if that's what you want. You can do it while you're in the restroom. You can do it while you're in the shower, which is my favorite part to do while I'm having my alone time, my me time. You can do it before or after you meditate, or honestly, you can do it at any time that feels right for you. If you do try this mantra, please let me know in the comments below. I want to know how you feel if it's your first time doing it. Now, the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation. Now, I want you to say this affirmation on the nights of the full moon in Sagittarius. And you can say this for the following 2 weeks after that as well. And that is, I am loved, I am loving, I am lovable. That is it for you. That is all that I have for you for this full moon in Sagittarius. If you found this informative, please let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Hey there, Taurus rising. This full moon in Sagittarius, you will focus on your 8th house. The 8th house is all about sex and shared finances. For the following 2 weeks, you should sort out your feelings about sex and money. And this full moon can bring up intense feelings about your sex life and your finances, of course. This full moon is all about finding a balance between what you give in life and what you take. If you know you've been doing too much of either, this full moon is most certainly the time to redress the balance. The problem is that when we give too much but don't know how to take, we actually mess with the natural laws that govern free flow. How can the universe send you an abundant stream of good things if you are not receiving them without a fight? This full moon also heralds a very good period to attend to practical financial matters such as paying off debts and settling personal bills. It is also very good for investing some emotions in the bonjour. So time to release any issues you have about anything that's holding you back or bogging you down or stopping you from living the life that you want. The 8th house is all about death and rebirth, reinvention, transformation. It can be a very scary part of the chart. After all, it is where death and taxes reside, and those subjects can come up when this part of your chart is being triggered. But don't worry, this full moon happens here once a year at least, and you're certainly not likely to have to deal with it, the heaviest aspect of it, annually. Rather, look at the full moon here as a chance to transform as a person. It is also about cash, more about that later on. Tug of war may arise between your money and where your money meets someone else's. Find a balance between how much you think you're worth and how much you're actually being remuted for your efforts at work. It's about self-worth versus the worth someone else puts on you. It's also about being your own boss financially versus depending on others to pay you. Your salary, your debts, anything really. Financial windfalls and inheritance are out of the question when this part of your chart is active. This part is also about sex. And issues around sex and sexuality can come up, so just be aware of that. This is good because it is the right time to deal with them and then move on. The full moon is always a reminder for us to forgive. So, forgive anyone you feel has overstepped the mark, hurt you, or broken a taboo. Also, forgive yourself for any problems you have had with money that you blame yourself for. Don't do that, okay? We are all humans. We all mess up. We can all learn. Now, the full moon is also a perfect reminder to be grateful. So, be grateful. Write down your gratitude list. A mantra that I have for you on this full moon in Sagittarius is VAM. You can chant it out loud or you can say it silently every day. You can do it while you're in the shower, before or after you meditate, or at any time that feels right for you. Let me know if you try this out on the comments down below. And the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation that you can say on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius, and that is, I shed my past and I evolve. We're all meant to evolve. We're all meant to forgive. We are all meant to be grateful. So, shed your past and evolve. This is something very meaningful and something that you should really think about and really feel it whenever you say it. If you found these tips informative and if they help you out, please let me know. And I will see you on the next video. Bye. Hello, Aries rising. If you are an Aries rising on this full moon in Sagittarius, you need to focus on your 9th house. The 9th house is all about the big picture. Now, in the coming 2 weeks, you're going to deal with worries that you have connecting you to studies, travel, and the great cosmic quest. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about where you're going, like your philosophies. So personal growth, religion, philosophy, publishing, the internet, travel, study. They're just some of the subjects looming large for you when the full moon takes place in your 9th house. So be honest with yourself. Have you been too fussy? Have you been fussing too much over the details of your latest problems or tasks? Sometimes that's just a delay tactic, and we need to take a step back and look at the big picture of where we are and where we want to be. Are your life and your mind expanding or narrowing? If you stopped being adventurous, then you only have yourself to blame. This is a great time to try something that lies beyond your usual realm of the everyday. So, release any issues you have about the grass being greener. The full moon here means it's time for you to see the bigger picture of your life. You may be having like a crisis and wondering whether this is all there is. Take a moment to see the broader view. Hopefully, doing so will prompt you to count your blessings. This is also a time for you to think about whether you want to get away from it all or stay right where you are. Will the grass be greener if you go away? If you're staying at home, someone abroad could also have your attention. There's no way of telling, honestly. Also, at this time, legal issues can resolve themselves or at least come to the forefront. A tug of war may arise between being here and wanting to be there, being torn between home and away, small ideas versus big ideas. So find a balance. Your thoughts and your faith. This is a chance for you to let go of fear and limiting ideas and accept that concept of a power bigger than all of us out in the great unknown. If you're going through a dark night of the soul at the time of your ninth house, the new moon at least, or the full moon at least, take solace in the fact that your timing is perfect. Cosmically speaking, this is a chance for you to grow spiritually and to expand your understanding in the world around you. Open yourself up to new ideas. The full moon always comes around once a month to remind us to forgive and to be grateful. So, forgive people who are narrow-minded, or yourself if you've been narrow-minded, okay? And be grateful. Make a gratitude list and write down all the things that you are grateful for and then safely burn it. The mantra that I have for you is chant it out loud, or you can say it silently if that's what you want. You can do it while you're in the shower, which is my personal favorite, before or after you meditate, or at any time that feels right for you. And if you never tried mantras and if you give this a try, please let me know how you feel. Let me know if you try it and let me know how you tried it. And the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation that you can say on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius, and that is, I know I am blessed. You can say it on that night and for the following 2 weeks. Now that is all that I have for you, and I hope that you found something informative in this short amount of time. And if you did, I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, Pisces rising. This full moon in Sagittarius, if you are a Pisces rising, you need to focus on your 10th house, and the 10th house being about your career. In the coming 2 weeks, sort out any issue related to your work. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about your career and your professional trajectory. If you've been hiding yourself away and generally keeping a low profile, watch out. The skies are suggesting rather loudly that it is time for you to step out of the shadows and back into the limelight. As tempting as it might be to slouch around at home, the full moon in your 10th house is telling you it is time to invest some emotional energy into your professional life. Even if your work has been the source of annoyance lately, don't give up. For some, a work situation or project comes to an end now. Don't panic. Remember, the universe harbors a vacuum and something new will come in to take its place soon enough. Alright? Now, how committed are you to your goals? This can be your time to shine at work. When the full moon takes place in your 10th house, aka your career zone, it's as though you've been pushed into the spotlight professionally. Ready or not, for some of us, it will be because a big work project is coming to fruition. Hopefully, you will receive accolades for all of your hard work. And on the other hand, if a project or a job comes to an end now, there is at least consolations in the fact that it happened in divine timing. This is a good time to ask yourself how you feel about your career. Where do you want to go next with it? Release any issue you have about your workload and how it impacts your home life. So a tug of war may arise between your duties at home and all that you need to do to get ahead in your career. So find a balance between who you are inside versus who you are in the world. As someone who does or doesn't seek to achieve, as with the full moon in the 4th house, this lunation asks you to find a work-life balance. There could be tension or demands at home that are affecting your ability to function at peak levels at work. Or work dramas could be keeping you from living a rich personal life. Whatever the case, this is the second chance you have in your 12-month cycle to find a balance for some recognition that is coming now. For others, it becomes clear that more emotional investment is needed professionally. Now, the full moon always comes once a month to remind us to forgive and be grateful. So, forgive anyone you feel has done you wrong professionally and yourself for any untoward behavior at work, like ever. And be grateful. Sometimes we take for granted what we have and we don't take a moment to be grateful for what we have. So, I'm asking you to take a couple of minutes to write down a list of your gratitudes. Alright? Now, the mantra that I have for you is Lam. Chant it out loud. You can speak it silently. You can do it in the shower, or you can do it before or after you meditate. And if you don't like any of those ideas, then you can do it at any time that pleases you. Now, if you try this mantra, and if it's your first time, please let me know how it goes. Please let me know how you feel, and let me know how you did it. Okay? Now, the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation that you can say on the night of the full moon and Sagittarius, and that is, I have a perfect work in a perfect way. I give a perfect service for perfect pay. Isn't that wonderful? It feels wonderful. Whenever you put a feeling into a thought, into a desire, and you mix it together, you make magic. You make a potent magic. So put some passion into what you say so it can come true. That is all that I have for you. I hope that you found some of this few little minutes that I just gave you of information helpful. And if it did, please let me know. And I'll see you on the next video. Alright? See ya. Hey there, Aquarius rising. This full moon in Sagittarius, you're going to focus on your 11th house if you are Aquarius rising. The 11th house is about your friend zone. So, for the following 2 weeks, you're going to deal with any upsets with your friends. The full moon can bring up intense feelings about your friendships and unfulfilled dreams. It is so tempting to focus on yourself and your own pleasures. Perhaps you're a creative person who loves to express yourself, and why not, right? After all, life is for living and having fun. However, this month's full moon in your 11th house is reminding you that you need to find a balance between indulging in a bit of what you fancy and remembering that the people in your life also need some attention from you. Whatever you do now for someone else, you get extra karmic brownie points. This also makes the coming month good for networking. What are you dreaming of? And do you know anyone who can help you get it? This full moon here casts a warm and gentle light on your wishes. Are they working for you? Are you getting what you're dreaming of? And if not, why do you think that is? It is a strange but true fact that sometimes we just know we're not going to get what we're paying lip service for, wishing for. Sometimes we know on our intuitive level that something is never going to happen, or perhaps we no longer want what we once desired. The full moon in your 11th house is the ideal time to release anything like this into the ether. This part of your chart is also crucial about friends and networks. How are you with your friends right now? Are you happy with them? Would you like to make new friends? Issues related to a friend can arise at this time. Breathe deep before you deal with them. A friendship that ends at this full moon is definitely ending at the right cosmic time. So, release any issue you have about what you've been wishing for and their dreams that don't seem to manifest. Friendships that are troubling you, release it. A tug of war may arise between who you are versus who your friends are. So find a balance. What you need for yourself versus what you need to do for and give to your friends. The 11th house is about the clubs, groups, social networks that you belong to, When the full moon falls here, chances are you will have at least one friendship that needs your attention. So pay attention. Are you pulling your weight within your group of friends? Or does someone have cause for complaint? Or is it you who feels someone else could be a better friend? The full moon here reminds you that you have to balance your own needs with those of your social circle, networks, and groups. Now, every single time the full moon comes, every month, once a month, it is reminding us to forgive. Forgive any friend right now who hurt you at any point in your life, in yourself, or whatever you feel you did or didn't do in relation to that friendship. And the full moon also reminds us to be grateful. So, be grateful. Make your gratitude list. A mantra that I have for you, if you want to go ahead and try it, if you haven't tried any mantras, that is Om. You can chant it out loud. You can speak it silently every day, in the shower, before or after you meditate, or at any time that feels right for you. Now, if you give this a go and you try it out, please let me know on the comments below. Now, the last thing that I have for you is an affirmation, so you can say on the night of the full moon in Sagittarius. And that is, I am a great friend and I attract great friends. And if you don't like that one, you can say, my dreams and wishes are now manifesting. Whatever you desire, friends or wishes, this one's for you. Now, I hope you found something informative in these couple of minutes that I just gave you. And if you did, please let me know. And I will see you on the next one. Hello, Capricorn rising. If you are a Capricorn rising on the full moon in Sagittarius, then you need to focus on your 12th house. The 12th house is all about the secrets. In the coming 2 weeks, take some time out. You deserve it. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about your secret self. Life has probably felt very busy recently, and no one can blame you for wanting to take some time out. This full moon in your 12th house is going to allow you to do just that. For many people, this full moon comes at a time when they're feeling a little bit down in the dumps, but the fact is that they are likely just exhausted after the efforts of keeping up with the demands of your daily grind, daily life. So take some time out, meditate, practice yoga. You need to strike a balance between working and taking time out. The worst thing about a 12th house full moon is that it forces you to look at where you may have been sabotaging yourself with your own behavior. The best thing about a 12th house full moon is that it forces you to look at where you may have been sabotaging yourself with your own behavior. Get it? Pay attention to what you've been doing. The 12th house is unfortunately known as the house of self-undoing. We all have a 12th house, and we all have parts of ourselves that are indeed our very own worst enemy. The good news is that when the full moon takes place in this part of your chart, it's a wonderful chance to identify the behavior, to see it for what it is, and to let it go. So, release any issue you have about things you don't like to talk about. Forgive other people for anything that they have done to you. Forgive yourself for anything you've done to yourself or anyone else. And a tug of war may arise between the things you have to do every day to keep life ticking off and your need for inner peace. So find a balance. Your daily life as a functioning human being and that secret side of you that's mysterious, delicate, and perhaps even a bit dark. For some, it's what we think we should hide, and for others, it's what others, probably parents, have told us we should hide. This full moon can bring us some pretty intense feelings, whether we like it or not. We may even find ourselves apologizing because this is the house of self-undoing, and not expressing how we feel is a wonderful way to self-undo or self-sabotage. The month wherein you have your personal annual full moon in the 12th house is the ideal time to go on a retreat. If that appeals to you, It is time to do inner work and even to explore your spirituality. Sometimes this full moon will bring or reveal a big secret. Go easy on yourself at this time of the year. It's one of the most emotionally intense full moons. The next one should be a little easier. Now, every single time the full moon comes, it is a reminder to forgive and to be grateful. And this full moon, you need to forgive yourself for anything you feel ashamed of, and understand that there's nothing to be ashamed of. We're all growing, we're all evolving. Forgive anyone else who has ever hurt you. Yeah, it hurts, but you have to let it go. You have to forgive, not for them, but for yourself, so you can heal, so you can move on. And you should also be grateful. Sometimes we take advantage of the things that we have, and then later we regret not being grateful for what we had at that moment. So take a moment to make a list of all the things that you are grateful for. Now, a mantra that I suggest you try out if you've never tried mantras is a mantra. You can chant it out loud. You can say it silently. You can do it in the shower like I do. I love to do it in the shower. It's a way of doing my me time, my personal space type of thing. I turn the lights off, turn a candle on, turn an incense on, put a mantra on my phone, and I just let the whole day fall off of me when the water hits me. It is renewing. It refreshes me. It makes me become whole again. It reminds me that I am a human and I am working on everything that I am working on. The last thing that I have for you is an affirmation. This affirmation, you can say it on the full moon of Sagittarius, and that is, it's okay to have quality me time because you need it and you deserve it. Now, that is all that I have for you. I hope that you found some of these information informative and that it helps you. And if it does, please let me know. I want to hear about it. Comment down below. And if you're not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.